Yo, what is going on, guys? Just wanted to give my trade recap for last night. I did take trades last night, but yeah, I didn't. I didn't manage to film the video. I was super tired. Um, I was just relaxing for a little bit and ended up knocking out. So, um, yeah, I mean, yeah, just wanted to give my trade recap for yesterday and kind of the thought process of what I'm kind of going through in terms of why I'm taking a trade and kind of my thought process and some key points that I kind of um, noticed throughout trading from these high time frame POIs. And yeah, let's jump right into it. Again, recent sessions. So one of the sessions is from March and the other one from April. So yeah, I mean, with so if I cover the high time frame analysis, as you guys can see, on the 4 hour time frame, what significant highs have we broken and what significant lows have we broken? So previous price actions, significant low, taken out, significant low, taken out. We then broke this significant high as well as this significant high, right? And all this is kind of just noise because ideally for us to be short, the 4 hour needs to break the significant low, right? And for us to continue on the trend, we need to break this significant high here. As all this is kind of just internal price action. Um, but yeah, so as you guys can see, within this leg up here, um, we had a couple options. We had this 4 hour fair value gap with which price didn't respect at all. We also had um, the fact that we were in 4 hour equilibrium, which is a good sign. Uh, as you guys know, that we have to implement the equilibrium tool to make sure that we're on the right side of the high time frame. Um, it's just more probable that we react from equilibrium from high time frame zones. So when we see that prices are within equilibrium on the high time frame, we know that it's more probable for us to look for a trade. We just need to look for displacement, which is my second point. And I've been touching on this for a long time about displacement, but the fact that it needs to be obvious for us to look to take a trade. So, as you guys can see, 4 hour equilibrium. We also had um, this 4 hour kind of order block, which is here. And on the 1 hour time frame, we had, as you guys can see, we break the significant high. And so this would be my next significant high, which is here. Significant lows would be these hourly lows, as well as these hourly lows here. So we actually filled in a 1 hour fair value gap as well as sweeping out, um, taking out these hourly lows into a 1 hour fair value gap, into 4 hour equilibrium, um, which is kind of good. Just means that our POIs are kind of lining up for the day, which is very, very good. So pretty much what I waited for was a 5 minute change in direction as well as a 5 minute sweep. As we retraced all the way down to um, as we retraced all the way down to 4 hour equilibrium, as well as this whole range up here. Um, it's kind of the ideal place to take a trade from. We fill in 4 hour equilibrium. Refinement would be this 1 hour free rally gap. We also took out these lows, filled in that 1 hour fair value gap. So now we're in two high time frames, right? We're now in a 4 hour order block as well as this 1 hour um, fair value gap, taking out these 1 hour lows, right? Which brings me on to the 5 minute. 5 minute, what are we looking for? We're looking for a sweep or previous lows um, with no closure above. So as you guys can see, we actually had a sweep of these lows here. We get our displacement, right? Waited for price to come back into our order block area, right? And pretty much what I'm looking for was this kind of breakout, taking out these significant 5 minute highs, right, with a closure above. Um, so you know, in that case, we still were holding this order block here. We try to get good closures below it. Wasn't a good closure below these lows here, and we end up holding these lows. Um, it was just a matter of when are we gonna get that displacement out of it. Pretty much waited for that displacement out of it once we had this candle closure away from this order block here. So as you guys can see, we had a deep retracement hitting our last kind of defense layer for us to take a trade. As we take a sweep of these lows, we get our displacement, which is this kind of rally up. We then had our retracement, and now we're just looking for a displacement out of this order block, which is what we had here after retesting it a lot of times. And I enter, stops below these lows down here, and just targeting a 1 to 2. And as you guys can see, trade ends up playing out, which is good. Um, which kind of touches on the second point, which is displacement, right? The trade, for us to look to take a trade, the reaction needs to be obvious for us to take a trade. Like if we have like, let's say we're consolidating, or like we're kind of making, right, and we get a sweep, there should be an obvious break, like to the downside. There should be obvious. There should be a nice move. There should be multiple candles, right, to show that sellers have now tapped in, right? It needs to be obvious. The last thing we want is something like this, right? Because ideally, prices, even though we get that break of structure, it's not really a good one, and price always ends up fucking reversing itself back to the upside. It kind of treats that as a sweep instead of a break. So for us to look to take a trade on something, we need to be um, it needs to be something where it's obvious and that we get that displacement. So that's kind of the second point I kind of touched on when I was trading last night and what I kind of noticed when trading last night. Um, but that kind of brings me on to my second trade, which was it this one? Okay, this is what I mean by displacement. So covering the high time frame bias first. So as you can see, we've taken out these significant highs here. So our significant highs and lows will be this significant high, um, these significant lows, these significant lows. It would be these significant highs as well as these significant highs, right? Um, so covering the high time frame, 4 hour, As you guys can see, we had multiple POIs. Um, we had equilibrium between these lows and these highs up here. As you guys can see, we filled in equilibrium perfectly. And what was within that equilibrium? This 4 hour fair value gap here. So pretty much just waited for a tap from that on the hourly. On the hourly, um, we had um, a breaking structure here, followed by displacement. So we pretty much waited for price to come back to this area here, or at least equilibrium, as we kind of had no POIs from this point, and we disrespected this fair value gap, which tells me that the retrace is going to be deeper. So even though we filled in 4 hour equilibrium, um, you know, and we disrespect this kind of we disrespect this 1 hour fair value gap, just means that price is just retracing a little bit deeper, but the trade idea still stands, right? As we reacted from that 4 hour equilibrium, that 4 hour fair value gap down here. So Um, as you guys can see, we actually took out these hourly lows as well. And what was even better was the fact that within this 1 hour range, so once we filled an equilibrium on the 4 hour time frame, we had a nice reaction, right? We had we had a nice reaction. We then get a retracement again to equilibrium, what was within equilibrium, taking out these lows as well as this order block here. So we can get rid of this. So now equilibrium is filled between the 1 hour, right? As well as as well as yeah, the 1 hour as well as the 4 hour as well. So once we get a sweep of these hourly lows and we filled in this 1 hour order block here, I then went on to the 5 minute. Pretty much waited for the same thing, right? We're looking for a sweep. We're looking for um displacement, which is what we had. And we're looking for a retracement, and we're looking to kind of take off from there. So, um, yeah, so once we had that hourly sweep, I pretty much just waited for a displacement move to show that, we've and breaking a significant high, right? With displacement. So this would be our significant highs, and this would be our significant high. We broke two of those in one move. So to me, that was enough to look for a retracement to actually go longs. So as you guys can see, from breaking those significant highs, we pretty much just waited for a retracement. We did have this 5 minute gap here, um, as well as this order block here. We also had multiple 5 minute gaps down here, as well as a order block all the way at the bottom of the leg. Um, but again, we had that hourly sweep, um, and it was clean enough that even though we didn't close on the 1 hour, we also didn't close on the 5 minute as well. So this kind of acted as our 5 minute sweep. Yeah, and we get that displacement move up, waited for a retracement, hit this order block here. I think the trade was also in equilibrium as well. It was filled in equilibrium perfectly, and then we get a nice reaction. I enter on this candle out of it. I was happy to enter from this candle out of it just because my stops were gonna be down here, not at this order block here, because we're still within this range, and we're playing the on the fact that this range is still good and that it should hold. So again, if this range doesn't hold, just means that we're tracing further. Um, Break even was at these highs here, taking a 1 to 2. And yeah, trade ends up ripping, um, which is good. Um, just means that, we're on the right track, and, we're slowly figuring things out. But only with the help of God that, I was able to kind of be in this position where I'm slowly kind of figuring things out on direction, on how to be more probable in these markets. So I just want to thank him so much as well. Just want to thank you guys as well for keeping me motivated. I work 10-hour shifts Monday to Thursday or Tuesday to Friday, and it gets hard. It really gets hard, and if it wasn't for you guys, whether you guys are watching this or not, I'm always dedicated to becoming, where I need to be when it comes to trading. Like use it to my own advantage and to to make it work. And I know it's only going to take time, but um, I just want to thank you guys so much for keeping me accountable as well. Again, cannot do this without you guys, and yeah, just want to thank you guys so much. That kind of wraps it up for today's trade recap. There'll be another video for today, so I'll be taking um, another set of trades today, just to make sure that we're still within, we're following our rules and we're sticking to our rules when it comes to trading, that at least 4 days a week. Um, and, Friday makes up for, uh, yeah, today makes up for not trading on Tuesday. So, yeah, we'll get more hours in there. But yeah, again, just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Um, and I'll see you guys in the video tonight. Peace.